Welcome to the Valkyria Chronicles 4 DLC showcase. This is going to be a series of videos showing you the DLC to this game. I've done similar videos in the past, like with Senran Kagura Estival Versus, as well as the newest DLC on the PC version of Neptunia Rebirth 1. People seemed quite receptive of those videos, so hopefully that'll be the case with this too. Hopefully these videos will help you out in terms of making a decision on whether to buy a DLC or not. There's a playlist in the description if you want to see more, and of course it'll become more populated as more videos are being put out. This DLC is called a Captainless Squad, which was available early for people who pre-ordered the game. The focus is on a bunch of non-main characters, hence the name of the DLC. You have to have reached chapter 10 in the main story before you get access to it. The description says you need to complete chapter 10, but that's not true. Needless to say, if you haven't reached that far into the story yet, you're going to run across some spoilers in this video. Basically what happens is that Squad E's dog, Rags, runs off because they kind of forgot to feed him. Wow, it's not just sexual harassment, but also animal cruelty. What other completely inappropriate subject matter is this T-rated game going to throw at us next? There's multiple missions that are part of this DLC, and all reuse previous maps. But the experience is still quite different because you have different objectives and base camp and enemy locations. Because the members of the squad haven't told Claude and Co. about their escapade, you won't be able to make use of orders, which further ups the difficulty level. So not only do you get a few more missions, but you also get a relatively lighthearted story that helps flesh out some of the side characters. There's some weapons and stuff as rewards too. Overall, for $4.99 US, I think it's not bad of a deal at all. Just so you know also, this is the PC version, but everything should apply to the Switch and Xbox One games as well. Let's take a look at the missions in more detail. Overall, there are 3 missions, but you have to make sure to eliminate the hidden ace in the first 2 in order to get access to the third. This isn't going to be a straight-up guide or walkthrough, but you'll get a good idea of what the missions are about and what to take into consideration. The first mission is the Winter Town map. Instead of starting out in the bottom right, you're more in the middle. I didn't find this one too difficult. I even neglected to level up and upgrade equipment before starting this. The first ace is hidden right behind the wall of your base camp. Get your grenadier to deal with them straight away so you don't have to worry about them anymore. The mission goes as follows. You need someone to reach this area, then a cutscene happens, that big black tank gets deployed in the bottom right base camp, and the objective changes where you need to get 3 units to the bottom left of the map. I think the easiest method is to spend a bit of time getting rid of enemies before triggering the cutscene. Just use your Lancer to get rid of the bottom tank. The one at the top can be destroyed by a well-placed grenade because there's a Ragnite thingy behind it. The rest can be cleaned up with a Grenadier, Sniper, and Shock Trooper. Also make sure to get rid of the Sniper at the very top of the map too. He can cause a bit of trouble if you're not careful. I made sure to have 3 units ready to go to the bottom left zone, and then trigger the cutscene once I'm ready. Then it's just a matter of taking down a few foot soldiers. The second mission I had a lot of trouble with initially, mainly due to my own stupidity. It's the Crystal Sea map, and yes, you'll be facing the Valkyria again. This time, the starting point is to the middle left, and the aim is to have 4 units reach the bottom right area. There's tanks and grenadiers to make this even more tough. It's easy to get caught up in the crossfire and die. Make sure to always end turns in the protected overhang areas. That way the Valkyria and the grenadiers can't get to you. At first, I had the entire gang move up the map, and then cross the map diagonally, missing the ace in the process, who is located at the top right, hidden by a rock. It took a few tries, but I managed to finish the mission. A much better approach is to have a Shock Trooper run towards the top right to get the ace, then have a bunch of units move downwards. Take out the tank and park your units under either the ice or the other overhang roof thingy. That's descriptive. There's 2 ways to rush to the finish, either by going left or right around the ice mountain thing. It's also a good idea to have any spare units camp out at the top base camp. That way it distracts the tanks and Valkyria, which allows you to go left around the ice mountain, allowing you to bypass the turret. I had problems dealing with grenadiers here. A lot of reloading save points and a shock trooper later, I finally managed it. Not the most elegant solution, and I'm sure there are people who can do it much better than I can. The last mission I had much less trouble with. This one's not accessible if you didn't get the aces. The message will tell you that at this point as well. In this mission, Claude, Raz, Kai, and Riley don't really buy the squad's BS story, and therefore challenge them to a duel. This is the same map from when you had to run from the Imperials. You know, that one with the avalanches. This time you start at the very top and try to reach and take over the main base camp at the bottom. Like with the other mission on this map, try to use both paths and split up your units. One thing to note is that you're going to have to deal with Raz, Kai, Minerva, and Riley twice. First after you take over the first base camp, and then again right at the end where they're all in their main base camp. I just used a lot of long distance attacks whenever possible. The MCs are very good at ducking when you're going for the headshot. Maybe that's how they get by without helmets. There really aren't any tricks you have to do. Just a bit of common sense is all you need. The Hafen can be taken out rather easily since Claude managed to park it right in front of a ladder, which is very convenient for your Lancer. Just make sure to use Neige and a Grenadier to clean up the area a little beforehand. I didn't get the best score ever, but whatever, I finished the mission. I actually enjoyed this one the most, just because it was fun facing the challenging units. And that's the DLC. Overall, I think it's a good value, even if it reuses 3 maps. This is what an add-on should be, in my opinion. I like how the story fleshes out some of the side characters too. One thing I'll say is that Neige can be a bit difficult to deal with. When a lot of enemies are around, she just freezes up very often. It's almost impossible to move her out of harm's way. It's so easy to have her die. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. There's more DLC on the way for this game, so I'm sure I'll get to those once they come out. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you like this sort of content every now and then. I might even go back and cover some of the Neptunia DLC as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.